who haven't switched to like some newer game. I just don't understand how you're going to entice people to stay. I mean, I know devoted people that still play the Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Even though the new one's already come out, they still play online and they have private host servers to play on, where them and all their friends just play it. And that's cool. If that works for them, go them. But I'm not going to waste Pegasus Night Experience on that. But I just don't know how you can keep the player base, or at least like something that someone can play like with someone. I mean, essentially it just comes down to figuring out a way to bot or manipulate the system to get it, especially 5 or 6 years from now. I mean, it's hard enough to find a PS2 emulator. 15, 20 years from now we'll probably have PS3 emulators, or it'll come to a sad point where all game companies do is re-release old games with new features. Which is kind of already happening. But we'll get this kind of lonely affair with games. I don't know, it's frustrating. It just really is. I mean, where are you gonna find freaking Half-Life 2 online trophies nowadays? Like, no one plays Half-Life 2 online anymore. You're a bastard. So, I don't know. Also, kind of obscure is that sometimes like a game like Mass Effect 1 still has an active forum and people who do things like write fan fictions for the game, which is kind of creepy. But for some reason that game seemed to have held on to its community base somehow. And that's good. But like 5 years from now, if you want to do it, there's probably not going to be anybody who's interested in it at all. I mean, there might be a few people, like people who still write like Sailor Moon fan fictions, even though Sailor Moon's been off the air for years. Yeah, I'd kill them. But I don't know. When it comes to things like Steam community and forums and bringing stuff back, like that's kind of the way things should be heading. Just because it's, I don't know, I guess it's better for gamers to like have a community to support older games. And I know there's like net play communities for playing like old fighting games and stuff like that online, although it's still kind of buggy and it's kind of that legal gray area. And I totally understand why some people don't want to be a part of that. And I mean, it takes a lot to get into all that stuff, but I don't know. I'm kind of rambling about internet and online stuff. Like, the other thing is that everyone who plays World of Warcraft needs to realize in like 20 years something better will come out. World of Warcraft will be gone, and every little bit that you worked for in that game, when those servers go down, will be gone. Gone permanently. Like, no getting it back. It's over. You know, all of your, like, advanced achievements for WoW will all be gone. And that's the problem with, like, online gaming stuff is that at some point, the company's going to fold. Information from the server will be lost. People who spent, you know, years playing these games may not have anything, I guess, to show for it, I want to say, but I don't want to make it sound so strange. I don't know. I guess it's more like there is no real reward in the long run. What the hell? What? Double evade? You're full of shit. You are so full of shit, Pegasus Knight. I don't know. I mean, it's the same thing, like, if you played an earlier Call of Duty, Medal of Honor, you know, whatever shooter game, there isn't going to be a community to help you fulfill trophies. I mean, some people will be like, no way, this game is totally better than the new one. The new one sucks. There'll always be those people. But the worst part is that they're probably playing that new version of the game, and they don't care about the old one, even though they like it more. Like, oh, I traded that in to get the new one. I don't know. I guess that's something for me that's inherently wrong with the community of gamers as a whole, and I do really appreciate like fan-made or fan-supported games and online servers. I just hate the legal stuff that goes with it, especially with games that have been gone for a long time. I watched the user Bazooka do an online stream of the new King's Quest, the fan-made King's Quest, and there is like I guess you could say like a flow to older games and the way they were made and like their graphics and stuff, and then when you try to like change that dynamic, it comes to the point where you should really just make your own game. I understand, like, oh, you know, we're fans, and we like using the name, and we love the characters, and well, how about you just make your own? Like, why are you guys stuck here? I'm pretty sure if, like, a forum put its head together, they could make their own game that's similar to, you know, a series or an archetype of games that they love, make their own game out of it. That's absolutely awesome. I don't understand why more people don't do stuff like that. I mean, it would really show big game companies, you know, what people can do when they really intend to. And with the internet, we have all this communication. Why not get together a group of like 30 or 40 people that can make a quality game? I'm sure there's some programming guy out there who isn't that creative story-wise or can't write to save his life, but he can program the hell out of anything, you know, build even like modern engines, or he or she is a master user of Unreal or Maya. Like, I don't know. I just don't understand why you'd make a fan-made game unless you were going to make it very similar to the original game. Like, not just, oh, we use the characters from, or something like that. Like, something that can really make it just like the older games. Like, changing the format, changing the setting does not work. Like, there were a lot of, like, Doom expansions and stuff that were trying to, like, portray their own story. Like, you don't need to. Like, you can create some new monsters or whatever, and if you create a dynamic, that's good for you. But I don't understand this kind of idea that an old game that's been long since gone needs to be resurrected, and must be resurrected with like new graphics and stuff like that. It just doesn't make much sense. I don't know. I didn't like the new King's Quest thing. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of King's Quest when I was younger, but I knew of King's Quest, and I think I played a little bit of one of them because I got it like as part of like a Sierra free pack, because they gave out all those like demo discs and magazines and like PC Gamer and stuff. And I actually have an old PC Gamer disc. I think it has like has a bunch of like weird Doom clone kind of games, and it's like special edition disc number 70 or something, but I don't even think it works. I know it has a demo of Terminal Velocity, which was a great game, and I'm really surprised it didn't get as much popularity as I thought he was going for Henri. really didn't get as much popularity as I thought it deserved, even though it was really awesome. But I guess the same thing could be said for Mission Force Cyberstorm. I also kind of wonder what will happen to, like, games in the PS2 and PS3 era, you know. I know at some point they'll look back as, like, classic games. Like, it'll be weird to be like, you know, Medal of Honor Black Ops, play the classic. But, I mean, you see that now on the PlayStation 3 network with, like, Medal of Honor Underground and stuff like that. But playing them is almost intolerable nowadays. Can't have everything. I'm closer to you, Arthur. I'll let him get a free hit on the lizard. I don't understand why. On PlayStation Network, why they don't just start, you know, getting permissions and releasing all those old PS1 games for like, you know, like $2 or $3 a piece. Like, I paid $14 for Final Fantasy VII, and I already paid like whatever $60 for it originally. So like, I don't really want to like wait until the next system and then have to pay, you know, $30 for HD, like, exclusive optical sound version. Like, I like some things the way they are, and they don't need massive upgrades and stuff like that. I can understand, like, you know, what's that fucking game called? Why can't I remember? Siphon Filter. The original Siphon Filter has, by today's standards, butt-fugly graphics, and it is... I don't know how, in the era, people tolerated looking at graphics like that, and especially when you have, like, look at these graphics. They're not the greatest, but they look better than crappy polygons. Like, Disgaea 3 has a smoother look and feel than a lot of, like, polygon games. Like full 3D render games. Like, some games just don't need the treatment. And also, as time goes on, people want more and more and more with graphics and stuff, but even simplistic games like this, the only, I mean, they could update the graphics and that wouldn't be too big of a deal. But there are some, like, PlayStation 1 era and early PlayStation 2, and even some late PlayStation 2 games that have terrible controls. They have absolutely horrific graphics. And then on top of that, their sound and other qualities aren't that great. But those deserve, you know, a little tweak up to make them not so ugly, or make them, I guess, more comfortable for players now. But, like, you don't need to go, like, extreme graphics on them. There's just no need. Come on, Arthur, get your fucking turn. I can't justify, like, completely remaking a game. Because, like, when they did it for Lunar, it was really nice, and I appreciated the cutscenes and stuff, but the problem is that they take stuff out, or they change the combat dynamic, and things that weren't broken. Let's just say that. Things that aren't broken, and they try to fix them. Like, why? You don't need to fix that. Like, I kind of appreciated the new Might and Magic, and, I can't remember the other one. It there's a dungeon crawler, but like, I appreciate what they did. They kind of changed the dynamic of the game to make it a little more modern, but at the same time, they kept the old style of play. Like, the dungeon crawling, stuff like that. Like, there was nothing wrong with it. Therefore, why do you need to fix something that's not broken? Alright, Arthur, get a level. Thank you. You should get replaced in 2 levels, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to get you 1 more level. And you didn't gain a level from that. And I won't say anything cliched like, oh, gamers today don't appreciate old games or whatever. Like, that's kind of a cliche argument, really. But I don't know. I think that even today there's this kind of, I'm gonna say pathetic. Pathetic idea of like, oh, like, you know, these type of games aren't real games because they don't have this kind of graphics, or they don't have this action FPS style, or they don't have this, like, I'm sorry, but I think people who do that should sit down and be forced to play one of those old, like, text-based, like, dungeon crawler games. It's like, NW, enter, like, search again. Like, I played one of those all the way through. I don't even remember what it was called, but it didn't even have graphics. It just had, like, basic text. I played it at a video game expo, and they gave me a copy of it. It was actually one of the first, like, dungeon crawler role-playing games, and it was old and ugly, but it was actually pretty well done. I was kind of surprised. Henri's gonna die. Oh. I was actually fairly surprised that it had a really good story and was actually it kind of brought you into the world, and I appreciated that. And a lot of games today don't have that, but a lot of people won't accept that because it's not like a hold forward and press the shoot button. Like, there's way more to a game than just simple things like that. I probably should use Gort to attack him. Yeah. And I've gone way over time on this episode. Alright, you know what? I'm going to cut the episode right here. So, I will see you in the next episode of Let's Play Shining Force with me, Morak Dice. See you later.